everyone, this is Hannah Romero. I'm bringing you today's coronavirus COVID-19 update from the Rocket Miner. So today, for the numbers, the CDC is reporting a total of 103,321 cases in the United States, with 1,668 deaths so far. Today for Wyoming, we are up to 82 cases. And the breakdown by county is 1 in Albany, 1 in Campbell, 3 in Carbon, 1 in Converse, 20 in Fremont, 1 in Goshen, 5 in Johnson, 19 in Laramie, 8 in Natrona, 1 in Park, 6 in Sheridan, 1 in Sublette, 1 in Sweetwater, 13 in Teton, and 1 in Washakie. So those numbers you can see is starting to spread to some of the other counties that we haven't seen any confirmed cases in yet, but there are still a few counties throughout the state that don't have any confirmed cases. But once again, keep in mind that this also depends on how much testing is available and which people have been able to be tested, which tests have gone through and been confirmed. In that same train of thought, we saw a report from Wind River Radio. They shared a media briefing from the Fremont County Health Officer, Dr. Brian G., and they reported that in Fremont County they have a public health and incident command team, and they said that they have been polling all our public health nurses, clinics, and providers to understand the number of people who have been directed to self-isolate. And from them in Fremont trying to figure out those numbers, they have an estimated number of over 400 people who are self-isolating because of potential exposure to the virus, 23 people who are quarantined. And I'm sharing this, again, not to cause panic or fear or anything, but as a reminder of how quickly and easily this virus can spread. In Fremont, they have the highest number of confirmed cases at 20, and it's all starting from basically the same incident in person who had the virus, and then other people were exposed to them, and then the people who were exposed to other people. So that's where you're getting this high number of people who may have been exposed to it and who are being instructed to self-isolate because of potential exposure. And that's just, again, a reminder to think about the fact that the numbers we're seeing don't necessarily reflect the number of people who actually have the virus. That number could be a lot higher. And again, not to spread fear, but just a reminder that this virus does spread so easily and quickly, and that's why it's so important to self-isolate and to take these precautions and these steps that we're taking that may seem drastic, but they're because of the way that we've seen it spread in other places and because of the high risk. It's just taking the precautions to keep the numbers down and try to keep them as low as possible. Caleb shared in his update yesterday about the federal government passing the $2.2 trillion economic rescue package. I just wanted to share that we have a few more details and more information about that in stories that we've shared on rocketminer.com. If you still have questions about what that is, how it works, what does that mean for me. In a general sense, the rescue package, it said it will provide one-time checks for most Americans and significant enhancements to unemployment benefits. So everyone who's earning up to $75,000 in adjusted gross income, i.e. the income on your tax return, and everyone who has a Social Security number will receive a $1,200 payment. This will be a one-time payment. For most people, probably be direct deposit or a check. It's not taxable. It's not something you have to pay back. That's something that people have been asking about. So if you have more questions about that, about how it works, how it will affect you, you can check out some of the stories that we've shared on rocketminer.com. There's a Q&A story that answers some of the biggest questions and just more details on how that will work and how that will affect everybody. Today we also shared a story on our Facebook page that we have on rocketminer.com that reports about how Wyoming has received a very low grade in terms of social distancing. This is from a national data company, Unicast. They utilized cell phone location data to rank every state in the nation on social distancing practices in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The report said as of March 25th, Wyoming was the only state in the country to earn an F grade. This says the grades are based on measures like how many cell phone signals are gathered in one place at the same time, changes in average travel distances, and how much time people are spending at home. And the report also said that within Wyoming, 14 out of the state's 23 counties also earned Fs as far as the grade goes. And when we shared this on our Facebook page today, we got a lot of different comments on it and people coming at it from all sides and saying, well, this isn't accurate, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't matter. And some of the comments were pointing out that yes, things are a little bit different in Wyoming because things are more spread out here. People do have to travel longer distances, even people in smaller towns have to travel further to get their groceries and get their supplies. So when you're basing it off of how far people are traveling, that might skew the numbers a little bit. But I wanted to point out that while this may be different for Wyoming and the numbers might be a little off, maybe some of these people are trying to practice safe social distancing, but maybe they're going out into the hills to get some fresh air and exercise while still being away from everyone else and practicing safe social distancing. That's understandable. That's where we live. We are a little bit different, have slightly different circumstances that affect those numbers. But the point is still that we need to pay attention to what we're doing and we need to be smart about what we're doing. I'm sure that a lot of these statistics are from people who aren't taking this as seriously as they should, who are getting together with more people than they should be, in bigger groups than they should, not following the guidelines that we've been given. So when you see reports like that, you can keep in mind that, yeah, the numbers might be a little different because of our different circumstances, but still the main goal and the main idea is just to be safe and be smart and take this seriously and put these practices into effect, to isolate, to stay at home as much as possible, to not get together with lots of different groups of other people. Just continue to be practicing these guidelines and recommendations that we've been given, and just take that grade report that we got and think about, okay, what do I need to be doing? How can I be doing better so that all of our state is better protected and doing a better job at social distancing? In addition to all of this with the numbers and all of the concerns that we're thinking about, there's still so much positive stuff going on, and I just really encourage everyone to pay attention to what's happening that's positive and that's encouraging. One of the stories, again, that we shared through rocketminder.com, that was a Wyoming News Exchange story, was about distilleries in Wyoming and how distilleries that previously made alcohol are now switching their focus to make hand sanitizer and to actually give out hand sanitizer to communities and to medical professions and people who need it. Said that, this was from the story, they said, because most distilleries have had to shut down their regular operations or at least adjust them to comply with COVID-19 orders, they've stepped up to fill this disinfectant need. Because again, with the resources, limited resources, people are running out of things like hand sanitizer that are needed. So you have these groups like these distilleries that are stepping up to meet that need. There was a long list of distilleries, Chronicles, Pine Bluffs, Backwards in Casper, Koliska, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, in Sheridan, Melvin Brewing in Alpine, Wyoming Whiskey in Kirby, Jackson Hole Stillworks, Grand Teton Distillery in Jackson. So there are these distilleries all over the state that are changing what they do so that they can meet this need. They said that the company will be able to donate the sanitizer free of charge to the community, which is made possible due to the imminent threat grants through the Community Development Block Grant Program. So I think it's encouraging just to see how businesses who are struggling are still finding ways to step up and to give and to help their community, and that was very encouraging to me. And also to see ways that people are finding these fun little projects. There's the bear hunt project going on where you hide a teddy bear in your window, and then kids and families can drive around and look for the bears in people's windows. Other people are putting up Christmas lights, or they're decorating their windows with hearts or signs that say hope. And it's just really encouraging to me to see how our communities come together, how we can still keep supporting each other, finding fun things to do that are still also within these guidelines of practicing safe social distancing, and just to see how we're all there for each other, we're all supporting each other. And as we continue to do that and just think of the ways that we can be smart about what we're doing personally to help stop the spread, but then within those, how can we keep sharing this encouragement, keep finding fun things to do that we can share with each other. And that's what we need to do, because that's how we're all going to get through this time together and be as safe as we can, but also keep our hopes up and just stay encouraged. Thank you guys for listening. Continue to look at rockandmind.com, all of our social media. We'll keep updating you. Have a good night.